Hello, how are you doing this fine Thursday evening? Let's get in here and pray, okay? Don't forget, go ahead, if you would like to go past the prayer, go ahead and fast forward 15 minutes and you will be exactly where you need to be, okay? Thank you. Thank you, God, for being Jehovah Nissi, the God of the banner. You place a hedge of protection in front of me, behind me, and on top of me. You keep me safe by any means necessary. Psalms 91, you place me underneath your mighty wing, and nothing shall by any means harm me. No evil will befall me, neither will any plague come nigh my dwelling. 1,000 may fall at my left hand side, and 10,000 at my right, but it shall not come near me. No weapon formed against me will prosper. It will form. But I have the breakthrough formulas from Jesus, Stoke, and Arumala. Why all three? God said he done called everybody to the table. Matter of fact, God said he never negated calling anybody to the table. That was man that picked and choose. God is not a picker and chooser. He chooses everybody. And I walk in and instead of fussing about what it looks like, just saying, okay, organizations pick and choose. God never does that. God said, come as you are. Man says, no, not you. Jehovah Shalom, the God of peace, the peace that passes all understanding. Philippians 4, think on these things that are good and of a good report. And if I keep my mind stayed on you, you'll keep me in perfect peace. No, it don't make sense, but it makes faith. Because what I have faith in, I'm going to believe. And what I believe, I'm going to act on. And what I act on, I'm going to see in the spirit realm before we come over here in this realm right here. Because this realm been tampered with so many times. If they say, take me to your leader, we don't even know who the leader is no more. Because the front man out front is not the leader. Jehovah Sabaoth, the God of hosts. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You are me and I am you. You place a small allspark in my heart before I enter my mother's womb. Just like God told Jeremiah in chapter 1 verse 5. It says, I knew you before you entered your mother's womb. God is not a respecter of person. He don't pick and choose like humans does. If God says something to you, he gonna say it to me, and it's gonna be the same exact thing. No changing of words, okay? That's who God is, okay? And so for God to tell Jeremiah that he's telling us the same thing. The thing is, God takes a small allspark and he places it in our heart, just like the Grinch, right? But it's up to us how we see it. So God said, just like Ephesians 3:20, God will do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or think according to the power that works in us. So how are we working this love? How are we working what we want to see? Are we working it? Yeah, we can imagine it. We can do all of that, but are we doing the steps to bring it to pass? Just asking. Just asking for a friend. Because sometimes you got to go past the emotion and start working it out. Jehovah Elohim, the God of gods. We made all this stuff to put between us and you, God. You said you had no problem with it because you gave us the idea for it. But then you said, don't you want to come to the Creator before you go to the creation? God told Elijah to go to a certain brook. When that brook dried up, God took Elijah to another brook. When that brook shriveled up, God took Elijah to another brook. So what makes you think God would just take you to one church and let you stay there? Who's to say you're going to stay there? God may do you like he did me and pull you away for a minute. And have you to deal with yourself. Because he wants to take you to another level. That means he wants to put you in the Pauline era. What the Pauline era is you sit underneath the presence of God and God teaches you. Listen to God and quit listening to man. Cause he will, let me tell you something. Man, if you waiting for a man to tell you it's okay, you could be waiting forever. Jehovah El Shaddai, the Most High God. Your name, let me tell you why you're going to be waiting forever. Because some of them are eating off your energy. And if you leave, it's going to be shown. The Most High God. Your name is higher than any name that is named on this earth or the universe. If it can be conjugated in a sentence and a punctuation put at the end of that sentence, you're higher than that, God. And then if I try to think of something, you try to think of something, guess what? It's going to be in a sentence or a bunch of paragraphs. So guess what? It's sentences and punctuation. God is bigger than that. There's nothing we can do. Jehovah Jireh, my provider. There is no lack. There's only provision. Sometimes God's going to have you to work with what you have right now. And it's going to cause you to look at it in a different way. And once you are given that opportunity, don't look at what you have missing. Like he told Gideon. He said, mighty warrior. He said, don't go with what you don't have. Go with what you have. Philippians 4:19. God will supply all I need. It may not look like what I thought it was going to look, but it's taken care of. I'm worthy because I exist, and I exist because I'm worthy. There's nothing that God will ever withhold from me. God is trying to get me to see who I am. God is my source, not the things on the outside of me. God will use people on this earth to bless me. See, wealth comes from the north, as above, so below, not from the east, west, and the south. It will always be supplied supernaturally if I believe it. It's based on my frequency and my energy, which is key. If God is here and I'm over here, God said, come to me as you are. Every time I get up and I go to somebody, I'm changing my perspective. Make sure they're worth it. Jehovah Rapha, my healer. You heal my mind, my soul, my body, my spirit. You heal so much of me. Honey, I worked out today and it was good. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. It was delicious. All right. It was delicious. Yes. Jehovah Gamola, the God of the recompense. Ain't no getting even with people and going back and forth and snatching flies. Send all that negative energy. Send all that negative energy over to the Creator and ask the Creator to cleanse and purify it. So you can send that cleansed and purified energy back to the sender. No blocking their path, no stopping their path, no matter what they done. Why? We got cause and effect, sowing and reaping, and corresponding action. That means whatever we say, do, or think is a seed. Seed turns into trees, whether good or bad. I live under the law of assumption that is already worked out, and I don't have to stress about it. Everything doesn't require my response or my fight. I choose my battles properly, and I leave it in God's hands. Ain't no fussing and no stressing me out, and so it will be, and so it be, and forevermore. Some things just worth just leaving in God's hands. It ain't. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to have a headache and high blood pressure. It's just not worth it. Look in the description below to see a few items just for you. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. Let's read an excerpt real quick. Okay, relax. Page 86. Be still and know who I am. Don't be tossed forward and backwards by what others say. Whose report are you going to believe? Choose this day and follow that voice. We shall believe the report of the Lord. Whose report will you believe? Come on, him? Paul Wilbur. Okay, and don't forget about my other two books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those books are shadow activity books. I saw a lot of shadow workbooks, and they were somewhat the same. It wasn't anything for fun, and God said, well, make it. I said, well, say less. So you get a word of knowledge just like that, and then you get an exercise. And the exercise is fun because three of the things you're going to be running around the house looking for stuff. And it's going to ask you to do it in a certain amount of time so you can have fun by yourself, okay? It's the whole purpose of showing you how to be your own best friend. Number 3 is a shadow question. Not so nice because, yeah. Once you get tired of looking at the shadow questions, go over to the next few pages, and then you run into your color page. God asked me to keep the color page between the age of 5 and 10 because the most childhood wounding happens between the age of 5 and 10. It could have happened after 10, but most of it happens then because the people that you expected to protect you didn't because they didn't know how to protect you because nobody protected them. Forgive them. They didn't know any better. Yes, they could have learned. Yes, they could have did this. They didn't have a bandwidth because let's just talk about it. Their family, their people were massacred. Just think about that. Were massacred. Just think about 10 people that was your heroes is massacred and gone. All right. Then, and then it's solidified by the age of 7. By the age of 10, it's really in your system. By the age of 21 and 25, it is now your responsibility to find your way out of that by therapy or whatever way you choose. Why? Because between 21 and 25, we know everything and can't nobody tell us nothing. And since nobody can't tell us nothing, that's when we get to be our own leaders, okay? And then you get 4 pages of drawing, sketching, doodling, whatever you want to do, because the closer you get to God, You have experiences you can't explain. It feels like Stranger Things. It feels like X-Files, Twilight Zone, and Doctor Who. It's hard to explain it, and people, because we're in the age of AI, they're gonna think it's AI, and it's not. Because, people now think, I believe it when I see it. That's not how God operates. God operates in believe it and then you see it. That's how God operates. So many people are gonna be left outside in the cold, waiting on God when God said, I'm waiting on you. And don't forget about my other two books that are already on the New York Times bestseller list. Influence and Impact with Chris Voss, and Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. You can pick up those books wherever books are sold. Okay, no matter what your background, because God don't care nothing about your background. God knows exactly who you are, what's going on in your life, because God knows everything about you, from your rooter to your tutor. Everything you've done in the back, in the booth, in the dark. He knows everything. Notebooks and journals for all, coloring books to help and meditate and recalibrate your mind. You'll see the link to the podcast with the women's leveling up. It was fun being there. I placed a new link of my own personal bookstore. I'm excited about this venture. Why? I have a whole catalog on Amazon. Go check it out. It's like 2-3 pages of me. But on my special page, my special bookstore, I have books that show you how to walk out of the deepest, darkest, heaviest, the end game of the video game. Those big dudes, yeah. How to deal with your Thanos in your life that you can't tell nobody about because you're kind of embarrassed, but you don't even know that it ain't even yours. That came from 1,000 years ago of your ancestors. That's what you're dealing with. It ain't even just you. And to even work with somebody that has never done the work themselves and they being a tour guide, let me tell you something. When you're dealing with tour guides and you going into a war zone, you don't want to go into a war zone with a tour guide. That ain't what you want. There are some freebies there just for you. I added the link of 105 spiritual laws. There was 7 in the initial book, but then there was 12 in another. And I said, wait a minute, God, it's not an author confusion. Find out it is 105 spiritual laws. Pause. Do learn the 105 spiritual laws. You know why? It's important to know them so you don't get hoodwinked and lied to, okay? At the same time, get in love. When Jesus came, you can say Jesus was an archetype. You can say he was a prophet. You can say all of that. Let me tell you something. When I say Jesus' name, I know y'all say that's not his name. His name was Yeshua, all of that. When I say Yeshua, people don't jump. When I say Jesus, foaming at the mouth. All of that stuff. So you can say what you want to, but I seen it happen myself, and I seen stuff that was attached to me jump off me. So you can believe what you want to believe, but I know the truth. Okay. For me. So you go with what you believe, and I'm going to go with what I believe. So let's get back to the story. So Jesus came and he brought love and grace. So let's talk about it. First of all, you put up a boundary. Boop, so you can love the unlovable. They got to be on the other side of the fence. They can't be with you. Religion says, oh, you need your Judas. But let's break it down. You're going to get a Judas on every level that you in. So let go of this Judas here because you're going to get at least 2 more on the next level that you're going to. Just letting you know in advance. All the shifting I've done, yes. Every time I get to a new level, it's not a new devil. It's the same thing, but it's people operating the same way, and I get an opportunity to see it and say, oh, how am I going to handle this time? Because what I used last time ain't going to work. I got to beef it up. Beef it up. Okay, I got to beef it up. All right. So let's get back to the story. So number 1, boom. And what happened to Judas? Judas acted up with Jesus. You didn't see Judas no more in the story, did you? Nope. Judas took himself out, but did you see him anymore? That means you get rid of your Judas because you're going to get some out. Right. And then the disciples said, how many times will I forgive my brother? Jesus said, they said 7 times. You said, no, 7 times 70. Then Jesus said, remember the Lord's Prayer. Forgive me on my debts as I forgive my debtors. So, how you love the unlovable. Number 1, boop, put up the boundary. Number 2, pray for yourself. I didn't know I was doing this. I was just doing what the rest of my ancestors were doing. I was just following the leader. I did not know there was a new way until you brought it to my attention. Now that I know there's a new way, I do not hold myself accountable for what I just did yesterday because I didn't know. I forgive them. You know why I forgive them? I'm not forgiving them for them. I'm forgiving them for me. Because as long as I'm standing right here, I am standing in quicksand. I am standing in cement and I can't get out. You ever been in quicksand? That means you are pulling. You're doing everything you can, but you are slowly going deeper and deeper until your head is gone. Same thing with cement. You cannot move. And it will happen to where you will be in the darkness where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. You see what I'm saying? So when you release and you say, you know what, I forgive myself and I forgive them too, and I release them, they were in survival mode, I was in survival mode, and I forgive myself, so I forgive them. That don't mean you let them back in your life. They on the other side of the fence, boo-boo. They are gone. That's how you love the unlovable. You let them stay on the other side of the fence. They ain't got to be in your face. Okay, keep moving. And then there's grace. Grace is God's willingness to get involved with human affairs, where God will reach down and pull you up out of that. Let me say, if you like me, I gave God full range. If I get down here and I'm in a secret mission, I done forgot, reach down here and get me. God said I will, because I done put too much in you. And then you have the 10 Commandments. It's really 613 Commandments. You want to see them all? Get a copy of the Torah. Get a copy of the Kamash or the Tanakh. Get you a copy. Don't just say, well, I'm a Christian. Step outside of your mode of comfortability and learn something about somebody else, because this ain't just about you. We're in a whole world of a melting pot. Learn something outside of yourself, okay? Then God told the Israelites, there's a way possible you can do 613 laws every day for the rest of your life without me. They say, yes, we can, us and our children. First time. By the time they did this thing with Jesus, they done this by 5 times. Look it up. Look it up in Exodus. They were acting a nut child. And then by the time they got to Jesus, the king said, who you want to release? Jesus or Barabbas? They said Barabbas. Barabbas was Ted Bundy out here taking people's lives. Jack the Ripper. They said they want to release Ted Bundy. They just got him in there. They want to release. Okay. So the king said, well, I'm washing my hands of this because Jesus ain't done nothing to y'all. They said, we know. Put it on us and our children. Wait a minute. That's the 5th time they did it. Okay, so they just pounded and pounded and pounded. So the wonderful thing is, Jesus took care of it. But then the setback is, in 180 AD and 200 AD, Lord Henry, with the Catholic Church, removed 54 books out of the Bible. When they did that, nobody was orating the stories anymore. Why? Because they waited until the elders was gone. When the elders was gone, nobody was there to tell the story. So now they was in slavery. Nobody was orating the story, and everybody was tired, right? Because you tired when you get done. So nobody was sharing the information. Fast forward 1861, they started having an awakening. They would have started having the awakening in 1700s, but they kept doing stuff to mess it up. Here's what happened in July 4th, 1776. That was a hostile takeover. That wasn't ever supposed to happen, okay? But it did. That's why they hid in a place. But the people that wrote it were supposed to be ignorant and in chains, but they were not, right? So that make you think our leaders were. All right, because they were eating people. But hey, I'm going to just leave that right there, because that'll mess your whole world up. All right, so so it's our authority as believers. We have believers' authority to say no whenever we see something we don't like. That is your authority. Whenever you do that, all heaven gonna back you up. All of it. Everything gonna stop. Because whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth is loose in heaven. So what you say out your mouth goes. Because see, we know everything, but we don't know anything. And that keeps us from attachments as we go through each level and lesson taught to me by Jesus, Thoth, and Ishu. Ishu is an Orisha, and that goes with Ifa or Yoruba that comes straight out of Africa. Okay. Then you have your adjective and your 400 values PDF. You put them together. You change your whole Sims character. This jank of a motor game. Because this ain't nothing but a hologram. Okay? You change how you gonna see yourself, and you do what makes you happy every day. If it makes your heart light up, if it connects you with the Creator, let's go. Don't do it. Let me tell you in advance. Don't do nothing down here that you know, without a doubt, it's gonna cause somebody to get hurt, because when you do, you're in trouble. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the juicy updates and the upcoming events. Don't forget to look at the school app. Got things started. Come over there and visit with me. I would love to see you. Okay now? I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who 2025, Influential Women 2025, and Women Worldwide. God was on a mission in 2025, and I was like, I'm receiving it all because I don't work really hard, and I am worth it. Look what I received in 2017. This is the work that I was doing with my nonprofit, Refuge Women's Transition Center. I was bringing women and teenage girls out of sex trafficking. I had a lot of help, but then I looked up and everybody was gone. They went to go help out someone else that had a bigger name than me doing the same exact thing. And then I was helping out young girls that came out and said they were LGBTQAI. And the ones that came out and said it was pregnant to their families, and their families kicked them out. I said, we are in the wrong state for that. I'm constantly bringing teenage girls out and women out, and they looked at me like, what? I said, don't worry about it. I got it. And so I just took them where I was at in the building that I was at. Oh, I sent them to the teen center. Then I was helping out women that was in domestic violence. We lost 2 women because they were addicted to, they had Stockholm syndrome, and they went back more than once. That means you were addicted to the person that hurt you. And you will protect them until your last breath. And so I don't judge them because we have people that smoke cigarettes and got an oxygen tank and they coughing up a lung. We have people that go to the emergency room because they have nauseated experiences dealing with weed, and then they come back, take their medicine, and still smoke weed. Then we got people that go to the gym up to 5 times a day. We got people working out up to 3 to 5 times a day. So if I judge them, I got to judge me too, because we all got our vice. Okay. And then I was helping people that lost everything in house fires and floods, because people knew I had a nonprofit. They were always giving stuff to me. I had beds, flat screen TVs, clothes, mattresses. I had some of everything. People was always giving me stuff because they were like, I know that you're going to do right by people. I know that you're going to do right by people. And because of that, instead of me taking this over here to them, I'm going to bring it to you. Thank you for that. I'm going to bring it to you because I know you're just going to sow in people's lives instead of making them pay for it. I said, exactly. And then people would come and I would say, how many bedrooms you need? And they would tell me. I said, only take what you need. I would give them toiletry bags. I would give the women the female toiletry bags. I would give them fingernail polish and fingernail polish remover because they would have to come out of shop factory to paint their fingernails. That means they would have to get really relaxed to paint their nails. Okay? That was how I would get them to come out of the shop. Sorry. Like I had hair on my lip. And then, on top of that, I was putting posts on social media saying I wanted to help 2 families for Thanksgiving. This young girl reached out to me, this young woman reached out to me and said, I need help for Thanksgiving. I said, say less. I went to Honey Baked Ham. That was my budget. And then I bought $150 worth of groceries and took it to them. And then, I found out about some more families about to get laid off from the job. So I put their names in a bowl, pulled the 2 names out, gave their kids 2 gifts each. That was my budget. And I kept saying, God, well, how much I could do if I had a bigger budget? God said, I know, right? I said, yeah. And then I was helping, and then on top of that, where was I at right there? Oh, and then I gave them a Honey Baked Ham and $150 worth of groceries. And then I helped 2 women to go to therapy. I paid for 2 women to go to therapy for 3 to 6 months. And then on top of that, I gave them $150 or $250 worth of groceries. You can see all of this on my website at Refuge Women's Transition Center or www.rwt as in Tom, C as in Charlie.org. Okay. So you can see what I did. I didn't put any pictures of the women and the children because that didn't sit right with me. I'm just different. Other people to do it to me, you can cover their face, but because of what I was doing, it was some dangerous situations, and I wasn't willing to put my family in danger. God is faithful, and I'm thankful for everything I am. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use along with my all-natural remedies for the assistance of the diagnosis. I was given of breast cancer in 2017. I didn't take none of that cancer treatment, no ports, none of that mess. I ain't taking none of it. I just use all natural things for my backyard, 100% Silver Shield, and for my dietary needs, and a naturopathic doctor, and the doctor said we died. I told him, I said, the devil is a lie. They said, you got 6 months to live. I said, the devil is a lie. They said, don't you see it? I said, I see it. But the minute that I agree with it, my cells and my body is going to quit. I do not believe in that. I said, I bind up every disease, every germ, every bacteria, every growth, every tumor, every parasite. When you start speaking to your body, you will heal. And let me tell you from experience, okay? Because I started speaking to my body just recently, and my body has been healing just supernaturally, okay? Honey, and I said, and I curse it back to the root of, I curse it back to the pit of hell, because hell ain't nothing but a frequency. And I said, I loose the blood of Jesus and I loose the hand of God, and I thank you for it now, and I take full responsibility because I ate this food. I did that to myself. They said, what you doing? I said, I'm putting my order in, so when I come back with my testimony and did, you know what happened. So then I went home, started talking to God. God said, call the naturopathic doctor. I said, say less. Call them. God that did. Pulled out everything that Dr. Sebi ever said about being alkaline in the body. Put all the things down. Showed it to the naturopathic doctor because now we're a team. And then they said, what you need to do is we're going to take 5 things off each side because according to your blood type, you can't have it at all. There are certain people that can't eat ketchup. There are certain people that can't eat Thousand Islands. There are certain people that can't even have sweet pickles. But you still eating them and you taking the ammonium AD and all of this stuff and don't sue me. And Pepto-Bismol because you trying to still eat it. Your blood type don't like it. You are tearing up your gut. You are giving yourself ulcers. You are tearing your body up. If you're going to do something, use something natural. Matter of fact, just leave it out your diet. Honey. Find out what your blood type is and leave it alone. Do what's right for you, okay? Because I did what was right for me. Honey, then my ancestors said get that dandelion, get that morning glory. You could okay, and then that wild scallions. Our ancestors lived off that. And look how long our ancestors lived. They were living in their 80s, their 90s, and centenarians. If they lived off the land, child, why can't we? We can live longer instead of listening to what they say, because once we listen to what they say, all these chemicals they put in this stuff, we is gone. The 4th thing I had was a poke salad. Poke salad was like lettuce and cilantro. I had a baby together and then serrated around the edges. Child, I put it on top of that spinach underneath that jasmine rice. That jasmine rice wilted it. But it was still fresh. That chlorophyll went in my system, did what it needed to do. To heal my organs on the inside. To bring me back to the state I needed to be. The purification state. And then I put the zucchini and squash and red onions on the top. All of those, all 3 of those are cancer fighting agents. And then I added seafood because I needed it for my omega-3s. And then I was doing avocado and wild caught salmon because those are vitamin D. Instead of taking the vitamin D tablets all the time, I started eating the medicine. Remember, let your food be your medicine or your medicine gonna be your food. Keep playing with them and you're gonna see. Because every time you look up, they don't recall this, they don't recall that. Find out what's natural and start taking it. Okay, do what's right for you. I did what was right for me and I'm still here. And I beat the big C. Psalms 91, 1-6, NLT. Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. This I declare about the Lord. He alone is my refuge and is my place of safety and is. Remember, God is neither male nor female because there is no sex in the spirit. He is my God and is, and ain't no shame, and I trust him 100%. For he will rescue me from every trap and protect me from every deadly disease. And he will cover me with his mighty feathers and shelter me with his mighty wings. He is faithful to his promises. God is faithful to every promise that he says. He is yes and amen every single day. However, there'll be a trap set up the street. And God said, I don't want you to go sit, because he said, you're going to be in the trap. Be in the trap. He said, I don't want you to be in the trap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you around another way. It's going to be the long way. Everybody else is going to be going that way because they're telling me this is a short route. It's not the short route. It's going to slow them down. And it's going to make them mad. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you another way. And I'm going to give you a spiritual machete. You're going to be the first one on that path. And you're going to open up the path for more people to come who choose to go that way. I said, say what that now? He said, I got you. Just keep going. Just know I'm with you. I said, but say less. Every time I say less, I'll be like, really not. My armor and my protection. I'm not afraid of the terrors of the night, nor the bullets that fly at day. I do not dread the disease that stalks in darkness. Why? David told us in Psalm 23, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. My rod and staff, who knew my spine and shoulder to shoulder was my cross. Jesus said, pick up your cross and carry it with you daily. Then it says, my cup runneth over. That's abundance in every area. Because as long as you are a human that came out of a womb of a woman, your birthright is to be abundant. That is your birth. That is your spiritual birthright. The minute you became a human, your spiritual birthright is abundance. Everything that you see in this world is a lie. It's an illusion. You are abundant. Stand on it. Be it. Honey. And then it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And then it says, Isaiah 53, woo, God will send the angel to go before me to set asunder to make the crooked places straight, and God is always my rear guide. Why is God always my rear guide? Making sure I always get goodness and mercy following me every day of my life. And then and then what? I am the house of the Lord. You know why I'm the house of the Lord? Because I am the house. I'm living in the house of the Lord. I'm the house of the Lord. God is looking out my eyes to see what's going on. Yours too. Because God is in your heart. God knows everything about you. There ain't no way to outrun God. God knows everything about you. Okay? So quit trying to outrun it. Child. Nor the disaster that moves at midday. Don't nothing surprise God. It surprises us, but it don't surprise God. And I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all that view my videos, and say thank you to the subscribers for your energy that you share when you come and listen to the message. I truly appreciate you, and I send all your beautiful energy back to you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Hand over heart for your affirmation, or however you choose. I am not society's script. I am my own definition. I am not of this system, but a flame from God, source, the divine. I don't stress about what I can't physically fix. I let go of that attachment, and I monitor the use of my own energy. Okay, monitor the use of your own energy and keep it stepping. Because see, if you don't monitor the use of your energy, somebody else will. God and me had some deep conversations this morning. Deep. And God got on me. Remember I told you when he corrects you, let it be. You can call God he or she because it don't matter, because there's no sex in the spirit realm. So whatever you want to call him, whatever you answer to, that's between you and God, okay? If people try to correct you, let them know there is no sex in the spirit. That's why Jesus told the disciples when they asked. So when this woman's husband dies and then the brother dies, who gets to marry and the wife dies? Who marries her? I apologize for the noise. They're doing maintenance again tonight because it's so hot during the day. They do maintenance at night. So it says, so who gonna marry the woman when they get in the afterlife? And Jesus told them there is no sex in the spirit realm. There is. It's divine feminine, divine masculine. That's it. But you are married together. There is no sex. So you're both in one. Just like you're both, and you mush them together to be one. So much was coming up, and I allowed it to come up. No tears, just aha moments. It was a lot of aha moments. A lot of writing stuff down. It's been a process. It's been a process this morning. But then I felt a huge release. I allowed myself to just feel it. It's not always easy to feel this instead of pretending it's not there. This is when you get the opportunities to completely heal in this level of growth. There's always more healing to do, always. As long as we live, there's always something going to be to heal. I heard Ephesians 6, put on the full armor of God, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the Spirit, the shield of faith, the loins girded about with the spirit of truth, and the feet shod with the preparation of the gospel, and I walk as a barefooted priest. Okay. And then God said, break it down even more. So when we deal with the ori or the ephod, we deal with the ori, which is the inner head, as the armor. The primary, most crucial, and ultimate protection in ephod is one's ori, which is going to be your crown. Aligning with one's ori is equivalent to the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and protecting the mind and navigating life's dangers. In Urdu, ephod, sacred words, the Urdu ephod versus Osei Torah for protection, Abara Otura for victory, serve as the sword of the spirit, used to chant incantations to neutralize the enemy. The offerings for the Evo, giving offerings to appease the Orishas and ancestral spirits as defense against spiritual attack and malevolent energies. And what that would look like, I'm going to use that right here. So whenever you give a gift to the elders, what you do, I'm gonna just give an example. What you do is you have this here, right? And then you can say the elder's name and you pour. You know how we used to do back in the day when we used to drink all the time? You say this is for the homie. Where you say the elder's name and you pour something out. And then you say a prayer and you say it again. That is not witchcraft. If that's witchcraft, I guess that is not witchcraft. There ain't nothing about that is witchcraft. So I don't understand. Known as the greatest verse, it is recited for intense protection against evil forces, serving as a spiritual shield. In the Quran, 113 and 114, known as the surahs of taking refuge, these are used to protect oneself from the evil of darkness, envy, and whispering devils or negative spirits, effectively acting as a shield of faith. You see how we all saying the same thing? We may say it differently, but you see how we all saying the same thing? That's what I'm talking about with religion. The minute you get into the organization, there's walls up. Come out of the walls and have a relationship with God. Because once you have a relationship with God, you see everybody is saying the same thing, just a different way. When you open your mind, you see things differently. Symptoms today, allowing emotions to come up, even the ones we don't want others to think we feel. Be honest with yourself and healing will begin. I slowed down enough, though everything was moving so fast around me. Ideas was coming back to back. I wrote down a lot of stuff. I started my own podcast. I'm excited. I started my own podcast. It's on Apple. Oh, okay. Let me calm down. I started my own podcast. And it can be heard on all major networks. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere. I'm excited. Right now, I just have the name as Renetta's Podcast. I couldn't think of a name. I just heard start a podcast. Do it. I jumped when I heard go. You can find me on Apple and Spotify as well as other sites. No, it's not perfect, and I wasn't going to wait until I was. I'm not waiting for permission for somebody to say, oh, yeah, you can do that. I did it because I wanted to do it, and I've been wanting to do it, so I did it. Don't forget about my free masterclass on 2/26/26, 7 p.m. We're going to talk about some deep stuff. The link is in the description below. We're going to talk about some deep stuff. Some stuff that most people are not ready to handle, okay? Don't forget about another podcast appearance I have on 2/23/26 at 12:15 p.m. The link is below. Y'all would not believe what I did today in my workout. I was like, what? I felt like, that's the way, I like it. Casey and the Sunshine Band, come on now. I feel like they're Rocky. I did 220 crunches and 160 lower leg standing crunches for my lower apron belly. I ain't got no shame. It felt good and lots of stretching without pain. I was doing all types of stretching. You don't understand. I was doing all types of stretching with my hip and getting stuff done. I was like, oh my God, look at this, okay. I was so excited for that. Whew, may not be exciting for you. Maybe you could do it, but I couldn't do it before. So I'm just saying, I could do it before, but for some odd reason, when I started this journey, my whole body just locked up. And then all of a sudden today, I could just do a lot. And I was just like, go. Cause just yesterday I was like, and then today I was like, yeah. So tired, but my mind was dropping ideas on top of ideas, and I wrote them down, and I rested, and I sat in stillness for 5 minutes and saw loose ends that needed updating. And when I say I saw them loose ends, I started writing them down. I said, because I was getting ideas for new stuff, and I said, I feel like I'm missing something. So I sat in stillness, and it was like 4 things that I needed to lock down, loose ends, and I said, took care of it, and it was like, I'm ready. So are we ready for free healthcare for all like other countries are moving forward, or will we continue to let the isms hold us back again? How long are we going to hold on to the story of illusion that FBAs are of lower rank when we invented everything, even the gas mask? Yes, a black man invented the gas mask. Ain't that fun? Ain't that fun? Invented the gas mask and was attempted to be stolen by Europe. So let's look deeper. So who really? Who really? Every time I look up, when I look in history, I keep seeing Europe trying to steal something. I didn't say, it didn't say if, it says if history does, if you, okay, so the saying says this is an African proverb. It says, until the lion can write down history, the mauled hunter will continue saying that he or she won. They're mauled. They didn't win. But because they get to write down the history, there we go. But we're finding every day that history is taped, it was stolen. Just like they have all this stuff from Benin Dynasty, and they want to hold it in Europe, talking about what we wanted in the AC unit. Who are you? This is our stuff in the beginning. If you don't return what don't belong to you and sit down, that narcissism, that control, if you don't sit down, for you mess around and be like Nebuchadnezzar out there in the woods with a long beard and long nails and you don't even know who you are. Remember that stuff you sent out is looking to return home. Just remember that. Let's get out of the mental health problem of racism and every other ism that goes with it. Oh, we all will be less than if what happened in Minnesota can continue to happen around the world. Your choice, or we can continue seeing children devoured as you keep turning your head talking about, oh, I don't think they did it. We got the whole file. We got the whole file, honey. What are we going to do? Are we going to barbecue or mildew? Are we going to band together like 9/11? Like we know to be as the America I know? Or are we going to complain about the issue and do nothing? Because the America I know don't play by no children. Especially don't play about nobody touching children and don't play about nobody eating children. So are we going to stand up? Or are we going to sit down? Are we going to say, stand up, stand up? Is there a heart? Is there a heart in the house tonight? Stand up, stand up. I'm just saying, 5 heartbeats. Everyone gets the opportunity to do their own work and wake up in their own timing. I apologize for the noise. I have no control over it. It's hard when you love folks, but in their own timing. Okay, keep going. They get the opportunity to decide just like you did. Don't carry nobody else's burden. They fight or they battle. That ain't your job. Let go. We done with that. Read Philippians 2 and 12 for yourself. Okay? James 1:19 through 21. NLT. Don't allow anyone to take your power, your energy. Stand strong in your power and say, this is mine. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. We must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Human anger does not produce the righteousness of God, but righteous anger says, I'm done with the BS. Let's get some done now. So get rid of all the negative thinking and humbly accept the word that has been planted in our hearts. Because we need to go ahead and make the documentation and put it on a book that anybody sitting in the office of the highest office, if they do anything illegal, will be released from that position. It is time that we put that on the book. It is time that that is on the voting laws. It is time we do something about that, like ASAP. And I don't care how much noise they try to make on top of me. It is time to do something about that. We have children suffering. We have countries suffering because people are getting devoured. For it has the power to save our souls. It will save your souls. It's up to you. Verses like the Quran 17:53 and 4148 highlight the importance of speaking kindly and avoiding slander and gossip. And speaking the truth. Are we doing that? Are we doing the things we know to do? Are we picking fights with somebody else? Remember, do what you know to do. And then you ain't got a chance to fight with nobody. Do that part. Do your part first. And once your part is done, then you can get on somebody. But you can't get on nobody until your part is done. 2254 emphasizes that it's not for creation to question Allah's decisions, which the prophet knows better, right? Just like we say by God. It requires the believers to surrender to Allah's will, which is a message of faith and surrender to divine authority. We all doing the same thing. You just saw, I read the scripture, how it corresponds with each other, but still we fighting each other. Why? Oh, because of the labels. If you don't get out of religion and get into a relationship, but you know what? You get to do that. I ain't gonna berate you and treat you horribly, but I'm just saying at some point you get the opportunity to get out of the religion and get into the relationship. Do we really know who we are? It's time that we get into our studies, whatever we're in. Because it ain't my job to tell you what to do with your life. Pray, meditate, and find out who we really are. Be so secure that when things come to steal your joy, you bounce back quicker every time. If don't nobody else know how to do that, I know the FBAs know how to do that. We will bounce back quicker than anything. We like a Harlem Globetrotter child. I'm still saying. You know what I'm saying? Saying it. Because it's my birthright. It's my spiritual birthright. Abundance is my spiritual birthright. Why? Because I am of the human race. I am worthy to be loved. Just because I'm a human, I'm worthy to be loved. That's my birthright. I am worthy of a life I love. That is my birthright as a human, to love the life. And if I don't like it, I can change it at any time. I can change how many times I want. I don't have to stay the same. That's why God gave Elijah all these different places. He gave him all these brooks. He took Elijah to 45 different places. Keep changing until you get it the way you want it. This your life. So what? Somebody don't like it. Tell them to fuck the toe and get moving. I am worthy of a rounded, wealthy life. I am so abundant. I am worthy of abundance. I am a human. It is my birthright to be abundant. I am worthy of the dream that is in my heart. Oh, I'm so worthy. Because if God put it there, it is coming to pass. Do you hear me? I release the timelines that are no longer for me. I don't have no out for you. I don't have no bitterness for you. I don't have no strife for you. I don't have no animosity for you. I don't even want nothing bad for you to happen. I really don't. But what I do know is, excuse me, confirmation, but what I do know is, what you sow, you gonna reap. I do know this. It is in Psalms. And it is in Proverbs, and it is in Ecclesiastes chapter 10. All of them places it says, whatever you release from your house stays with you. And if, Ecclesiastes 10 says, if you dig a ditch for me, remember to dig another one, because you're going to fall in it too. Okay? Be careful what you put out here, because it's coming back. Two can only walk if they agree. That's Amos. We don't agree no more. You go your way, I'm going mine. I sever every connection. We no longer match. I don't care if we blood, honey. We don't even match no more. We don't even think the same way. I'm thinking heaven vision. You thinking earth vision. I don't have nothing against it, but heaven vision is about abundance on the earth and changing the trajectory of where we going, and seeing it how God sees it, and bringing heaven to earth instead of complaining where you are. Yes, I am where I am, and I stand in that. However, I'm also pulling everything to me that I want. I'm going to live the life I want, because that's the life I can have. Now, I'm just saying. Now, if you don't want that, that's on you. You just stay over there where you at. Don't come over here complaining to me, because I don't want to hear it. I'm just letting you know. Because you can do whatever you want with your life. Complaints will not be heard over here. I release the timelines that require me to shrink. If you looking for me to shrink, hold your breath and keep on your breath, or you can be in a casket. I won't be quiet so you can shine. Oh man, you must be crazy to think I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let this light shine so bright it's gonna be like, clean. Okay, I have critical thinking. I'm gonna use that. I'm not rushing or placing pressure on myself. I'm just open for clear communication and wisdom on my next move and stillness. When I got still today, I find out about me. Ain't nobody trying to find out about you. Chill, find out about yourself. I walk forward lighter, clearer, and deeply supported. I am never alone. I have my ancestors, angels, and God. A threefold cord is not easily broken. I'm so secure in myself, knowing if ain't nobody walking with me, I am never alone. Man, my ancestors pop out on them bushes like, woo-ah, woo-ah. That's between you and your ancestors, because y'all did something. Your ancestors did something. They ain't just doing it for nothing. The angels always bring me something amazing that causes my heart to light up. It never fails. It never fails. Things just came out of nowhere today, and I just said, you know what? I thank you so much. I'm aware enough to pause, breathe, and sit still for the next move. Or just know that I am loved in every way that love can show itself. You know, love has 101 million ways to show itself. Are you going to let love on you? Or are you going to fight love and say, I don't deserve it? The devil is a lie. I deserve everything that's mine. People go out of their way to do me good because of the favor of God on my life. Rules, laws, regulations, and any red tape is removed from me. It is said, we don't usually do this. They just can't help it. I can't help it either. But if God say nope, my intuition say nope. My ancestors say, I wish you would go over there. My hands is up and I'm walking away because I can't stay. I have miracles every day and uncommon blessings find me without me even searching for them. They be like, come here, girl, come here. Hey. They just fall upon me because I'm like, everything. Boom. When you doing what God asked you to do, God be like, choo, choo. Do you like that? Do you like? I knew you would. I don't consider any energy control. I'm grounded, safe, and fully in control of myself, untouchable, and fully sovereign in myself. All cords are removed from me. Cut, cut, snip, snip, burn, burn. And I sever every cord of connection. What? I am worthy of my dreams and everything my heart desires. If it's in here, it's coming to pass. Because I said, God, I'm going to just hold on. Hold on. Help is on the way. Georgia Mass Choir, and rest in peace, Whitney Houston. I allow clear thinking to find me without fighting for it. I ain't got to fight for it. I ain't got to compete with you. I ain't got to be jealous of you. I ain't got to be envious of you. Because my stuff is tailored just for me. I am worthy of seeing my dreams come true while seeing the light in darkness at any moment. I can go up here and see this thing different from a different perspective and change my life in seconds, child. I saw this somewhere and I said, this is mine. It's mine. It's mine. All things come to me in perfect, mature timing for my highest outcome and for the good of all. Because if I win, you win. If you win, I win. God is good all the time. All the time. God is good. Money comes back to me multiplied on every dollar that was spent. Double, triple, quadruple, 100-fold on every dime that was spent, stolen, and stuff I don't even know that was taken. I'm willing to open space for things I truly want by being gentle with myself. I'm intentional with love for myself. I have been loving on me. Just look at me, how I've been loving on me. I said, girl, we gotta wait to put it out. Put it out, girl. Okay, I saw this on Google. I'm just acting up. I love it though. That's my happiness. That's my joy. I saw this on Google and I said, season. Spirit, if it's in my highest good, I remove all energy that doesn't belong to me from my energy field and I send it back to the rightful owner, cleanse and purify, no matter where we originally met, universe, world, timeline, dimension, realm, space dust, space rock, space worms, space snakes, whatever, space, whatever it is, and I sever the cord of the connection. The lessons have been learned and I release you to find your own way. I call all my energy fragments back to me now. I'm Magneto. I am free. I am free. I am free. I sounded like a transformer, didn't I? I now release energies, traumas, patterns, and anything left behind by my ancestors that ain't clear yet, that aren't in alignment with my highest good across all timelines, dimensions, and realms. I received their stuff that they didn't get a chance to claim. I am free. I am free. I am free. I sit in peace while I trust the process, and no, I'm not rushing the process. Can we wait when it gets silent, child? It got so quiet for a moment today. I said, uh-oh, what are we doing? I'm doing speaking engagements and podcasts that bring transformation. Signature topic, helping visionaries and dreamers reconnect, reinvent, go through the rebirth process, and rise with confidence to help them ground their dreams in the now to see it come to pass and out of the spirit imagination realm into this realm. Ephesians 3 and 1, pulling it down, 5D to 17D on the earth. I have courses and books that teach individuals how to return to themselves, quiet the noise, and live boldly on their own terms. I even have my own store to sell it from. I'm holding space right now for people who feel like they're repeating cycles over and over again and they can't explain because it's generational and ancestral. Also tackling the sacred cows of religion and how we think the same, but labels keep us controlled and fear. Didn't you see that? Didn't you see that? We're opening every door. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is off limits. We're getting totally free, step by step. Write me in the comments to gain more information. I don't know where this song came from. I've been humming a lot today. Hi, my name is RenettaCheston, the owner and founder of Life Success Results LLC, Soul Igniter, Trauma Overcomer, Holistic Spiritual Strategist. I work with the whole being from my level of training and education, mind, spirit, soul, and body. I have a bachelor's and a master's in healthcare to understand and comprehend mental and public health. If you have a public health problem, you have a mental health problem. So what we going to do about healthcare is let's get it in. Massage therapy, Reiki and sound healing, holistic practitioner, where we put out all the impurities from the rooter to the tutor. Human design practitioner, where we go back to the beginning. We look at your purpose. We bring it back here. We put out all that generational baggage and trauma. When I was given the task of having uncomfortable conversations with others, I knew then that my path was going to be different and probably would be a little standoffish until people have done their own work. But that didn't stop me. I asked myself, I started with me. I ask myself uncomfortable questions every day to get out of old patterns. I do the work every day, and it's not always pretty or easy, but I wake up to confront the areas in me in love that need a facelift so I can go forward. What will you do? You're doing all this work on the outside, but are you a cesspool and a sewage factory on the inside because of unforgiveness and bitterness? And I was there. I ain't judging. I was there. What are we afraid of losing? Is it once we see colonialism and imperialism played everyone? I don't care what the color of your skin is. Either your ancestors dealt it or your ancestors felt it. One or the other. And it's time for us to get over this crap and try to find a in-between, like Minnesota said. Okay, they said, look, yes, we got our racial crap, but what we're not going to do is have anybody come up in here and mess up our happy home. Did you see how they stood up for each other? Come on, people. Let's stand up like we did for 9/11. When we find out somebody tried to come into our country and tear it up, and then come to find out our own people did it to us. Ain't that a hot, juicy mess? Remember when we were saying stuff and you said it was a conspiracy theory? Now we know. Documents have confirmed what we were saying the whole time. Well up. Okay. I'm just saying. Sacrifice all them people for what? You don't think they'll do it to you? You see what they did to Miss Good and Alex? That messed your head up, didn't you? You won't know what to do if we're not fighting each other anymore. But why are we fighting? Let's meet each other in the middle and come up with a plan. Okay, let's meet each other. Let me tell you something. We ain't always got to agree. There gonna be some parts that we ain't gonna agree, but one thing that we agree about, don't mess with them children. That's what we agree with. We also agree with why we just massacring people just to be massacring. Why we just hurting people just to be hurting. Why we locking people up in the middle of the day and letting them go in the middle of the night in the snow with no shoes? Why are we doing that? It's so inhumane. Why are we doing that? Have we forgot what it is to be human? Are we going to check AI on that? What it means to be human. When AI gets out like that, are we going to have parameters around AI to say, what is human and what is not, because we don't need that to get out of control. Or we're gonna be our robot, and we don't want that to be our future. Let's put some parameters in place. How about we find ways to have a conversation that put a pause, so we see life differently? Okay, in all areas, all areas. Let's lock up some of the internet to where it can't be with children, to where they gotta get approval from adults before even going on certain sites. And if they try to do something, it's gonna ask for their ID number. That's what I say. If we're gonna do something with these children that's under the age of 16 getting on these sites, ask for the ID number. If we're gonna do something, ask for the ID number. So no, because you already got IDs on everybody. So ask for ID numbers. And when they try to make up one, it ain't a real one, it's gonna kick them out. That's all I'm saying. Don't make it difficult, make it easy. Okay. This will cause us to quit blaming somebody else for our problems and look right here in the mirror and say, where I miss it. We can only meet people fully where we admit ourselves. Remember that next time you say you want a real relationship, it'll cause you to take off the mask, lay it on the table, and don't bring your representative to the party because nobody wants your rep, because that's fake. We have so many adults who were never taught how to feel safe. So they seek safety and validation on the outside of them because of a plethora of challenges that occurred in childhood processes. So I ask you, what emotions from your childhood push you in a corner and it calls you to make a whole bunch of vows and not do or be? I hate them. I never be like them. I never do this. I never do that. You know, never is a vow. Be careful with that. We made a lot of vows when we was kids and we don't remember. There's a connection to that. That's when we come back and we get to renounce all them vows from childhood, from teenage years, from our 20s. We get to renounce that stuff because that stuff come back. Because remember, by your words you were justified and by your words you were condemned. Just like they do when the police arrest you, they say, you have the right to remain silent and whatever you say will be held against you in a court of law. Well, whatever you say against you in this earth realm will be held against you in a court of the spirit realm. Okay, remember that. Alright. A vow is a vow. See, the vows we all made is playing out on the big stage. If it's over there, there's a small amount of it in you. Even if you say it's not. Where are you trying to control situations? In your own life. That's the control. That's still a narcissistic attitude because you're trying to control something in your life. You ain't trying to control somebody else. But where are you trying to control somebody else? Where are you trying to say the FBAs are the less when you know they are the best? That's why you trying to steal all the inventions. That's why you try to steal all the dance craze. That's why you try to steal all their ideas. That's why you take everything that they're doing. You go on somebody's page that has a little following, and then you take their stuff because you have 1,000 followers. So you take their stuff and you put it on your page and think you getting away with it. You didn't get away with none of that because your ancestors saw it, my ancestors saw it, their ancestors saw it. So guess what? You ain't get away with nothing. Because in the spirit realm, you're going to have to pay for that. Mm-hmm. So what you do in the dark will be found in the light. It always comes here. While we get to protest and speak our minds, are we helping that little girl and that little boy on the inside of us here that's hitting on the basement doors? Help me! Let me out! That's your true shadow. That's what your shadow work is. It's you letting your inner child out. Not pretending that you did it and trying to sell the shadow book and doing the marketing, but you ain't opened it. Hush your fuss and get on the bus. I'm being commissioned to aid in the process by sharing how I overcame everything meant to keep me from coming into my identity. I ain't judging nobody because I'm always doing my work. I had to believe in myself and God. And let me tell you, and when God be telling about myself, I'm like, But I take it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you take it, that means you will take you gonna take that butt whooping, okay? But I had to find me before I could find God. Let's talk about that. That means I had to ask myself, why is that bothering me? Why is that setting you off? Why does that hurt you? Why is that word bothering you so bad? Like, find out what that word means to you. Find out what that word means. Find out what that word means to your ancestors. and take the power of that word out of you. We're taught he's on the outside of us, but God is on the inside waiting to be tagged into our battles. 2 Corinthians 10 and Ephesians 6 both says, we're fighting principalities, rulers of the darkness, and spiritual wickedness in high places. This is when negative thinking has gone on for so long in the norm in the society. All them isms, racism, sexism, all these isms, where we do all this stuff to people that hold them back on purpose when you know that they have the verdure to do it. That's why you get upset and you say, well, why can't we have this type of month? Everybody get their month. Matter of fact, Caucasians got a whole year. So why you want a month? I don't understand. Like, talk to me about that. So, you got 12 months. I don't understand. See that selfishness in that? Yeah. This is what every ascended master fought against. The mindsets of us who complain but don't want to do the work because they said it like this. Well, Jesus said it like this. Buddha said it like that too. Hecate said it like that. Hare Krishna said it like that too. And they said it like that in Ifa as well. But they brought it down to so much wisdom. Let me tell you, when Yoruba people talk, it is such a beautiful phrase. So Jesus said, your traditions are making the word of God of no effect. Where are you blocking the flow of the effect of the magic of what is supposed to happen because you want to do it your way? By complaining because you don't want to do the work or don't know how to do the work, and there's a dip in morale because to get out is ancestral or generational. So it requires you to get past the level to get uncomfortable and get past that plateau of complacency or complicitness. Well, I don't want to choose a side. Well, you just chose a side when you didn't choose one. Yes, you did. This is how it's always been done. You just chose a side too, and that world is breaking apart right now. Don't you see their faces falling apart and everything falling apart and nothing is working and people is losing their mind and they backtracking on their words, they being found in perjury and all this stuff. That wasn't happening before, was it? If you see this whole world is collapsing and a new one is building. We get to choose. So what are we going to do? Are we going to do the good for us? Or are we going to hold ourselves back again? Let's do something good. When are we going to respect each other? Yes, we know the FBAs was here first. We know everybody's life is important because we are human race. What are you willing to bring to life? What do you truly believe? Not what your mama, your daddy, your grandma, and everything taught you as a child. What do you believe? Right now, what do you believe? Will you stake your life on it? It's time to operate in it right now. You can change your world with one thing you do to light this whole world up. Fight for your dream while hurting none. Because God said, as long as you don't hurt yourself or hurt nobody else, you can build whatever you want. We've learned a lot in the last few weeks, close to a month now. Excuse me, confirmation verb. Do what is right for you. Nobody lives your life but you. Be sovereign, not controlled. Think for yourself, not what the neighborhood. The neighborhood is saying this. Fuck the neighborhood. What do you believe? If you protect those that can't and don't know how to protect themselves, there is something that Malcolm X said before he was massacred, assassinated. He said, black people love me. Martin Luther King said the same thing. Black people love me. It's the ones who don't know who they are that are the dangerous ones. Think about that for a minute. Bring your dream to life no matter what you see in front of you. May the force be with you as you go in power. As you go, and the power of God be with you as you move. There are some freebies and a link to my podcast with the Women's Leveling Up that was done and made in magazines I was in September, October, December, and January. Look in the description below to see a few things that truly light you up and leave everything else behind. I cannot wait to talk to you soon. Remember, I placed my link to my own personal bookstore. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. Let's read an excerpt. What's this one right here? Oh, peace. 56. Page 56. Rest in me, I'll never fail you. I told you I am here to fulfill what I said in times past. Trust me, and see what I'll do for you. There's nothing too hard for me. Relax your hold and rest in me. My God, my God, my God. And don't forget about my other two books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those books are shadow activity books. And honey, I haven't seen anything like it. God said, well, make it. I said, well, say less. So you get a word of knowledge, okay? You get to have fun in this book. And then you get an exercise. Three things in this book you get to have a hunt. You get to go look around and have fun, okay? And then number 3, you get a shadow question. Not so nice because I sat up a lot of nights because I couldn't sleep, okay? And I came up with these questions crying and everything. Okay, number 4, you get a color page. God asked me to keep it between the age of 5 and 10 because most childhood wounding happen between the age of 5 and 10. By the age of 10, it is solidified. And yes, no, it's by the age of 7, it's solidified. And by the age of 10, it's really set in the system. Yes, the people that you thought that was going to protect you will protect you, but they didn't know how to protect themselves. Why? Because they wasn't nobody there to show them how to protect. Yeah, they could have this, but they didn't have the bandwidth. You know why they didn't have the bandwidth? Because their heroes was taken from them. 10 of their heroes were taken from them in 1 year. In a matter of 6 months to a year. That's a lot of people that you look up to is gone. So I'm not giving them an excuse, but I do understand. And I put myself in their shoes. And then by the age of 21 and 25, it is your responsibility to find your way out of the situation. Yes, it is our responsibility then to find our way out. Because then we are grown and we think we know everything and nobody can tell us nothing. And then the 15 you get 4 pages, 22 chapters per book. You get 4 pages of drawing, sketching, doodling, write down your dreams, write down your visions, going at it. Why? Because the closer you get to God, you start having them Stranger Things, those Doctor Who, those X-File moments, those moments that you can't explain. And because we live in an era of AI, people are going to think you came up with it by yourself. You could take the picture and show it to them. Nah, you fake that. That's just where we are right now. Don't try to explain it. Just keep it moving. Honey, let me tell you. And then I also have 2 other books already on New York Times bestseller list. Influence and Impact with Chris Voss. And Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. Okay. No matter what your background, God don't care nothing about that background. God knows exactly who you are. He know all the hairs on your head. He know everything you done at the boots in the back of the dark. God know everything about it. He still love you. How about that? Notebooks and journals for all. Coloring books that help in meditating and recalibrating the mind. I'm excited about the venture. Why? I have a lot of stuff on Amazon. I got a full catalog. Go look and check. However, on my special store, it's showing you step by step how to fight that deep, dark stuff that's in your corner that you don't tell nobody about and that you ashamed about. Go check out my store. Don't forget about the link to the 105 spiritual laws. Don't forget, we no longer underneath the Mosaic laws. We're under love and grace. Also, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter and the juicy updates. You're going to want to know what's going on because, honey, we got a lot of things. We were just shaking over here. Don't forget to look at the Adjective PDF as well as the Phone Gervais PDF to see everything that's that changed your life. Because this ain't nothing but a Sims game. You can go ahead and apologize to Kanye West because this is a hologram. You get to choose how you want to live your life. Don't wait for somebody to tell you how to live it. Choose it. Look at the new link for the school app. I was just getting started, getting things over. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who. As you can see my insignia back there. Influential Women in 2025. Women worldwide, all of that. God is good and His mercy endures forever. Let me tell you, He was bringing some stuff to me in 2025 and I said, well, let's make it happen. Look what I received in 2017. I was working with women and teenage girls because my nonprofit works with women and girls. And I was working with them to bring them out of sex trafficking. I had a lot of help, but I looked up and everybody was gone. They wouldn't help someone with a bigger name than me do the same thing. God said, don't worry about it. Keep going. I said, say less. I was helping young girls that came out and said they were LGBTQAI and pregnant, and their families kicked them out. And I said, we're in the wrong state for that. They get on the interstate, that's it. You won't never see them again. And you be on TV whining talking about you want your baby back, but you let them go. And they was like, huh? I said, don't worry about it. I got it. So I let them stay in the building I was in, or I took them to the teen center. Most of them want to go to the teen center. Then I help domestic violence victims. We lost 2 of them because they went back more than once. And I don't judge it because everybody's addicted to something. We got people addicted to cigarettes. They're always smoking a cigarette while having oxygen in their nose. I've seen it, and I'm just like, do you know how dangerous that is? You don't blow up by the gas. You blow up by the fumes, son. And we walking around you. Okay. So then you have people that are smoking weed, go to the emergency room, and the emergency room tell them, oh, take this medication. You'll take the medication, go and still smoke weed. We got people that go to the gym 4, 5 times a day working out. They addicted to it. Then we got people that work out 3 to 5 times a day. They're addicted to it. I ain't judging nobody because if I judge them, I gotta judge me. And I got my own stuff. I don't have time to be pointing at people. Okay? And then I was helping people that lost everything in fires and in floods. And because people knew I had a nonprofit, people was always giving me stuff. I really didn't have to go get nothing. I ain't had to buy nothing. So people knew what I was doing, so they would just give me stuff. They said, I'm ready to get some new furniture, so I'm going to give you this. It's still new. It's just, I want something new. I said, well, say less. I went and put everything in storage. And then so when people came, I said, how many bedrooms you need? They told me. I said, I'm going to take what you need because other people are coming. And then I gave them toiletry bags. I gave the women feminine toiletry bags, and then gave them fingernail polish and fingernail polish removal. Why? So when they slowed down and they was able to come out of shop, they could paint their fingernails. You can't paint your fingernails doing like this. So that means you got to get comfortable. You got to relax. And then, because once you relax, then you can think properly and you're no longer in survival. Right? It was a purpose. And then I was putting posts on social media that I wanted to help two families with Thanksgiving. And this young lady reached out to me, and I went to Honey Baked Ham. That is my budget because I was working alone. Honey Baked Ham, and I gave them $150 worth of groceries. And then I found out that other families had to go through the same thing for Christmas. So I put their names in a bowl, poured it out, gave them 2 gifts per each child. Then I made sure they also received honey baked ham, but just not so many chemicals because honey baked ham has ham, chicken, turkey, and tofurkey. Okay, so just in case you don't eat meat, they got that too. And then also I gave them $150 worth of groceries. And then I assisted like 3 months later when I built my finances back up. I assisted 2 women to go to 3 to 6 months of therapy and counseling to help them, and gave them $150 to $150 worth of groceries. If you want to see all of that, you can go to Refuge Women's Transition Center, or the website is www.rwtisincharlie.org. I'm just excited because God said I'm going to take care. God said whatever you do in private, I reward you in public. I didn't put no fanfare. I put it on my website, but I didn't put them teenage girls. I didn't put them women like that because I didn't want to put my life in danger, and what I wasn't going to do is put my family in danger. God is faithful, and I'm grateful for everything because if 2 women left, what you think they find out who was helping them? Ain't nobody got time for that. Look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company that I use with all natural remedies for the assistance of the diagnosis of breast cancer in 2017. They said I had 6 months to live. Honey, I ain't take none of that cancer treatment. I ain't take no points, none of that mess. I said the devil is a lie. I'm not going out like that. Plus, God told me if I took anything, I was gone in a week. I said the devil is a lie. I love myself too much. We're not going to do that. So what I did, I told them, doctor, they said, don't you sit? I said, I sit. But if I say yes to this, my body's going to shut down because that's what your body does. The minute that you receive it, I don't care how much they tell you that you got something. The minute that you receive it, that's when your body starts shutting down. But if you tell your body this, I am the heal, protecting my health from sickness and disease, and you go look at Isaiah 54 and Isaiah 55, I don't care if you're not of the church. Go read it for yourself. And when you read it for yourself, you see what happened. Okay? Don't believe everything that's told to you. Go look at it for yourself. All right. And then I said, I bind every disease, germ, bacteria, every growth, every tumor, every parasite. And then I said, and I send it back to the pit of hell because hell ain't nothing but a frequency. And I said, and I loose the blood of Jesus, and I loose the hand of God, and I say, I am free right now. I am here protecting my health. And I said, I take full responsibility because I ate this food. I didn't pay attention to the label. I just ate it. Tastes good, and I went with it. And they said, what you doing? I said, I'm putting my order in. So when I come back with my testimony and did, you know what happened. So I went home. So God said, get the naturopathic doctor. Did that, pulled out everything that doctor said he had on being alkaline. Pulled that down. And showed it to my naturopathic doctor. Said, look, some of this stuff got to come off this list because of your blood type. You can't have it. Some blood types can't have ketchup. Some can't have Thousand Island. Some can't have salsa. But you constantly putting stuff in your body so you can Imodium AD and don't sue me, and Pepto-Bismol, don't sue me. You put all this stuff inside your belly so you can have it, and your blood type is saying no. Find out what your blood type is and pull down a list that go with your blood type and start seeing what will happen when you start eating with your blood type. A lot of diseases that you have attracted will leave your body. Okay. And then my ancestor said, go ahead and pull that dandelion, that morning glory. Remember, you go, okay. I'm just saying, I did my research. And then that wild scallions, honey, if our ancestors lived off this, we are just losing some of our ancestors. They are leaving here 95 in their 80s. In they centurions, okay, and they telling us all this stuff. If they live this long, come on, and they lived off the land, okay. And then post salad, look like lettuce and cilantro had a baby together, and it's serrated around the edges, and I put it on top of that spinach underneath that jasmine rice, and that green stuff went in my belly, and went through there and started cleansing me out with that chlorophyll, and then I put that zucchini, squash, and onions on the top. Those are cancer-fighting agents, just in case you want to know. Honey, especially if you go on yourself. All right, honey. And then I added some seafood because I needed omega-3s. Instead of taking the vitamins, I just started eating the food, okay? Honey, and then I added in, and then I started eating some more avocado and some more wild-caught salmon because that is vitamin D. Did you know that's vitamin D, child? Yes, honey. I was eating so many things that had my vitamins in it instead of taking the vitamins because I was noticing when I was taking the vitamins, they was making my nails weak. I said, they supposed to be making me strong. I started adding beets to my diet. I started getting the beets and cutting them up and put them in Ziploc bags. You know why? So I can add them to my smoothies, child. Yes. I do a blueberry smoothie with some rosemary and put that beet in there for the extra iron and let it sit there. Child, ain't nothing like it to build this strength up. Okay. Honey, let me tell you something. I'm so thankful to still be here. Glory be to God. I thank you. Lord, I thank you that I'm still here. I thank you for loving me. I thank you for hugging me. I thank you for keeping me. I even thank you for the butt whoopers, because the butt whoopings say that you still love me, because if you didn't love me, you wouldn't say nothing to me. You had me over there in that corner sucking on my thumb in the fetal position like I am in a reprobate mind, because I ain't listening. No, I'm listening. Don't do me like that, God. Don't do me like that. I'm like, it makes you not like this, not like that. Okay, and then they said we were disenfranchised. We're not disenfranchised. They said we the minority. No, we're not. They are. They know it. They building up all these people to put in their numbers. But if they take y'all out of their numbers, they ain't got no numbers. That's what they made all these laws that they women can't have abortions. Because they, on purpose, sterilize us. So the law wasn't really for us. Okay, because they sterilized a lot of FBAs without our notice. We didn't even, okay, just like they did Henrietta Lacks and took her cells without notice. They did a lot of stuff to us without us even knowing. Okay. Alright. Honey. And we playing spades, Uno, and Trump, and chess with the most raggediest hands, but God is in our ears. They told us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We did, and they took the boots. And then God said, don't worry about it. Go over there and get that bamboo. And next time you take out them animals, make sure you use that hide and make some shoes. We said, stay like they said, we took everything from you. You still standing? That's why they don't want nobody talking to us. Because we still standing, honey. We are still standing after all these years. Everything they did to us. They try to exterminate us like you exterminate roaches. And we still here. Hush your fuss and get on the bus. Honey. Child, let me tell you, I just want to say thank you for being here, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here tonight. I see nothing but a blessing on you. I see a blessing of healing on you. I see a blessing of cleansing and purifying energy to you, that you will walk your path, that you stay on your path, you will get to know who you are, you will stay with God, and you don't move off the light, no matter how dark it gets. Stay with God, because it does get brighter. I love you in the love of the Lord and keep on moving. Good night.